It's one of Martin's most famous guitars in a host of musical genres. It's been played by who's who of people, and it's been redesigned. Today we're going to talk about the venerable D-18. So stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. You all right over there?
No, dude. I usually start off holding the guitar.
I know.
I'm in a whole new world here.
Well, let's get Simple Jack over to you.
Oh,
Look at that.
thank
Now
you
you're
so
comfortable.
much.
Now you're comfortable.
Man, that's light.
It is light.
Very
That's
light.
why I was holding it.
Yeah, Chris called it Simple Jack because I did my own custom D-18 style, and it's called Simple Jack.
It's really kind of D-28 style, though, right?
Well, yeah, it's 28 style,
Because
but
you added herringbone,
yeah,
which is what I would do.
It's hog, dude.
He really built the guitar that I have been wanting forever, but that's okay.
HD-18.
Yeah, it's very cool. The D-18's
Adirondack.
a fantastic guitar, so I can't blame you. They have been redesigned along with most of the rest of or pretty much all the standard series. It still is around. A few models left, but we're going to talk about those changes if you're not familiar and what makes the D-18 so special and different because it's got a lot of fans.
Got a lot of fans. It's the workhorse, one might say. I think.
Careful. Gibson called another spruce mahogany dreadnought the workhorse. In fact, I think they trademarked it. But
they trademarked happiness and fun. They trademarked playing the guitars too.
They trademarked the name Theodore. Anyways,
yeah, we got a D-18 here. Simple Jack, spruce and hog, dreadnought, looking good, sounding good. The pinnacle, and I think most people's eyes of a spruce mahogany dread, and it underwent some of the sort of golden era focused changes. It is more or less similar to what you would have seen between 2018 and 2024.
Actually, to go back further, 2013.
Oh, that's right, because they did,
The 18 series was kind of the start of the reimagining. They did those in 2013, and we could not sell enough of them. And then it took 5 years for them to go, hey, we should do this with everything else. So, yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So, Sitka Spruce, genuine, like the guy that sings Pony, genuine mahogany, mahogany neck, one might hope. Am I right? Select
So we know the back and sides are Honduran mahogany, and the neck is select hardwood
select hardwood
mahogany.
that looks just like mahogany and probably is
probably
mahogany. To start off, the newness, golden era shaped modern belly bridge. These are ebony bridge pins, which is cool. Ebony on ebony, more wood to wood contact. Just like the golden era.
There actually is something to that. When it's the same species, supposedly, from what I understand from builders, if you use ebony on ebony, you get a great friction that won't get stuck.
Yeah.
Versus if you use another material, you may not get enough friction, or it might get stuck, which you really don't want. Not enough friction or anything getting stuck. So
you never want that.
There you go.
Black binding on this guitar, simple on the rosette and the fingerboard inlays, ebony fingerboard. Slightly thinner on the new models. Also, we did a HD28 video. We talked about the thinner fingerboards, but these are also kind of beveled on there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice kind of step into what everybody else is doing to a certain extent.
It's effectively making your guitar feel worn in. If you take a guitar and you play it a lot over a course of time, it's going to do that anyway.
It's going to do it.
Feels comfortable.
Feels really nice. Golden era modified low oval neck profile, high performance taper, new golden era radically changed heel, but that is the heel right there, and it is a different shape than a D-18 that you would have gotten last year.
Golden era volute.
Yeah, that volute right there is what you would have seen
on a D-18 in the golden
era. Yeah, which is a lack thereof.
Yeah,
because it's D-18 open gear Grovers.
And an angled nut. And what was it?
Like a geometrically inclined squirrel.
Yes. You get an angled nut.
You got to keep that angled nut.
So the angled nut is, it's a throwback. It's something that you see on their Authentic series. But I am of the opinion that it is the most obvious visual change
Hmm.
because so many other things are very, very subtle. So if you are looking at guitars, if you are in a shop and you want to know, is this a 2024 or one of the new 2025, you just look at the bottom of the nut, and if it's angled, it's one of the new ones.
Yeah. Always kind of whenever you think about it, check your nut. Make sure everything's all good there.
Good advice.
Yeah. So, bracing wise, the whole standard series has moved Golden Era shaped bracing. There is, as we've come to understand, a spectrum of what Golden Era can be in the standard series versus the custom shop. But this is Golden Era shaped bracing, scalloped, wood to wood contact, delicately scalloped out. You know what I'm saying?
We have to thank Jerry and Martin for calling Cooper and telling him that there was a distinction
Yeah.
between custom shop Golden Era and this Golden Era bracing without telling us what that distinction was.
I think the distinction would be that
That's messing with you, Jerry.
yeah, custom shop, you can build this exact same guitar, but there will be maybe, let's say, more hands on it and a little, you know.
They're probably, they're carving the bracing and stuff. They're making some changes.
Yeah, they are. So
I'm sure this one was done with tiny people with tiny chisels.
yeah, little baby chisels. I think the Golden Era bracing, it's a choice that we've made on pretty much every custom shop we've ever made.
Yep.
I do think it makes a difference, and I think of, all the changes on these guitars, that's going to be the biggest sound difference. It's not like the D-28 2024 to 2025. There's not a huge radical like, oh, this changes the sound profile necessarily. But all I can say is D-18 has never really ever been a slow seller. There's never been ups and downs. It's a constant fixture.
We can't do videos on them often enough because we sell out of them too often.
Yeah.
Which is not, I'm not complaining. That's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
It tells you exactly how popular these guitars have been, and I think will continue to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those tentpole guitars we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a D-18, it's the HD 28s, triple 28s, D-45. Like those are D-35 maybe. Like those are the tentpole Martin guitars.
And it does not hurt that you pick it up and it's like
super light
air.
Well, it's one of the aspects of mahogany. There's a lightness to it, there's a loudness to it. I'd long picked up on that, but I remember listening to Jason Isbell on like Gibson's collection video where he long gravitated to mahogany Martins because they were always louder than anything else.
Awesome.
And it's true. I mean, and so the resonance, the lightness, that rich mid-range that cuts through, there's a reason they've been so popular for so long.
It's a perfect strumming guitar, but an even more perfect flat picking machine. And it will make you stand out in any bluegrass quintet that you're playing with.
I love it for like blues stuff too.
Yeah.
It's just that tonal profile is fantastic.
Absolutely. Let's take a listen.
All right, so there you have it. You've heard the guitar, and as you've noticed, I have it back in my hands. So if you're paying attention at home, that means throughout this video, I will have it more often than Cooper does. So there you go.
Elapsed time, my friend. We were verbose, all right? Yeah, ain't nothing wrong and nothing ever been wrong with little D-18. And if you missed it, Martin did discontinue the single O-18.
Mm-hmm.
So your choices now are a dreadnought, a triple O, or a double O.
That's right.
There's no OM, there's no J, there's no M.
We have an M coming, but that's a custom deal. An M18.
But I would say that, I designed a Adirondack and mahogany dread. Chris also spec'd out something at our in-store event, very, very similar. I think this format, just good spruce, good mahogany, you're never going to be disappointed with that.
Yeah.
So you got this option. I would love to see, because 18 series is really the only spruce mahogany combo that you get.
Right.
I would love to see some more, just like any of the all mahogany stuff. It's like, give me a 35 style or a more blinged out. Mahogany is a less appreciated as rosewood, less appreciated than rosewood, because there's not as many options.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I think it's a visual deal where historically rosewood guitars were always seen as a more premium option, and pretty much from any manufacturer just in the industry. And what's funny about that is, from a rarity standpoint, Indian rosewood is far more available, generally speaking, than Honduran rosewood or Honduran mahogany is. Honduran mahogany is becoming more and more difficult. Martin CEO Thomas Ripson has talked about this on a few podcasts where he's been interviewed about the scarcity and trying to get this, and to that point, I think manufacturers are looking at other ways of getting the same species of wood. Taylor calls it neotropical. Mm-hmm. It's still the same species, but it's from Fiji because the British planted it there as they needed it for their ships as they continue to colonize the planet. So we get to benefit as guitar players all these years later. But that speaks to the issues getting mahogany. So the truth is, mahogany is becoming more difficult to get, and yet still tends to play second fiddle. And I don't get that. I mean, from a visual standpoint, people like the darkness and richness look of rosewood, and they are vastly different from a tonal standpoint, which we should kind of talk about. I mean, with this guitar, you're getting a pronounced mid-range and a warmth. People often say, oh, that sounds rich, and it does. Yeah. It's not bassy and it's not trebly. It's a really nice mid-range, and it's got a very strong note fundamental without a lot of the overtones that rosewood has. And rosewood flips that EQ curve and has a lot of bass and treble and a lot of overtones, but it may not be as loud, and it's got that scooped mid-range, so that warmth that you're looking for is not as present. Plus, they're heavier guitars.
With the rosewood, you got the smile.
Yep.
And it's not a frown.
No.
With mahogany, it's a stank face.
I'll shoot people by half a second. It's stank face.
Yeah, you listen to rosewood guitar, you're like, yeah. You listen to mahogany, you're like,
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. That's tearing the paint off the walls. You know what I'm saying?
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I'd like to see them do more with mahogany and really dress it up. For the meantime, I'm glad that all the standard series got the appointments and treatments that they did, subtle as they are. They're fantastic guitars, and this is a keeper for sure. Really great. So if they want more information about this D-18 or anything else from Martin, what should they do, Cooper?
You're going to want to go to alamomusic.com, check and see if we got one. We got one right now. They haven't been the easiest guitars to get a hold of. However, I do think, on the bright side, availability and wait times of Martin has gotten better for everything. So before, it was like we had to order 6 D-18s and hope that we would see them all within 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Now, more time goes on, it's a couple weeks wait. It's a month at most. We're getting these. We're going to have them. They're not going to run out, I hope. And I think D-18 should be right there if you're looking for a heirloom guitar. D-18 should be right next to your HD28 and your HD35 and your D41, whatever. Don't write off mahogany. Many people, I mean, I'm speaking to a smaller group because most people know this is a all-time great, but consider the mahogany because it might sound better to your ear.
Absolutely. There you have it. If you're new to our channel and you like this kind of banter and stuff, make sure that you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, and we will both see you next time.